Hey, what's up, guys? Figure I was a little very serious lately. Figured go back to some comic stuff. There's actually a comic came out, I think in August of this year, a reprint of Police Comics. Right? Interesting though that it's called Police Comics because there's really it's all superheroes. Right? There's like a reprint, right? Facsimile editions. Oh, Red Rider. um, Facsimile editions of something that came out in 41. This was some comic back in the day, I'll tell you that. They introduced a whole bunch of characters. Now, a number of these characters, of course, Plastic Man was probably one of the first comedy, I guess you could say, like comedy superheroes by Jack Cole. Right? But you have some other ones here. There's some heroes in here I've never heard of. Some of them have costume aliases. Some of them were given a costume alias to sort of get with the superheroes that had just were coming out in late 30s, early 40s. By this time, of course, 41. Well, August of 41. We're not in it yet. Who's we? What am I talking about? Always the war, but not really this comic. I think other than I think maybe one or two stories had the Nazis in it, but for most part, it was the original enemies of these costume crime fighters, and there's some non-costume crime fighters in here. Essentially, right, fighting criminals. But despite the name of this, Police Comics, what I like about this is that yeah, sure, like crime doesn't pay, but there wasn't really a lot of you'll see it in here. There wasn't really a ton of respect for the coppers. So, introducing Firebrand, a smashing new character. Now, all I'm gonna say, I'm not even gonna do like a lot of like what I usually do sometimes looking at these things. Like, well, it depends. Like, usually if it's dealing with the war, I'm gonna go after, but I really enjoyed this. I mean, I enjoy all these facsimiles. I look for these all the time to be reprinted by DC. I'm willing to pay the price because it usually gives you a lot of pages, and it just proves to me that, like what I keep saying, the golden age of American comics. Okay? When basically the comics, it was like similar to Japan later. They sold in the millions. You had all different genres: westerns, romances, science fiction, superheroes, war, horror. You had all these kind of genres, and like I said, the war had just started, so you don't have this binding narrative, and you have a sort of chaos a little bit. Anyway, the Firebrand, the art, man. This guy Reed Crandall. I think this dude. I read most of the artists in here. I looked up just to get some basic info. Well, a lot of these guys went on to interesting careers because Reed Crandall, I think he did was it Black Hawk, of course, the famous Black Hawk. But just the art, his art is like this is kind of there's no house style yet, right? You know what I mean? If you get what I'm saying. So of course, there's strong editorship, but anyway, what I keep saying about the Golden Age too is the craziness of it, the craziness that you get in like Japanese manga, you had in this country. Of course, with an American flavor, you got hoods. Yeah, I like how these guys are basically shooting window washers if they don't pay their protection money. All you want is $100 initiation fee to the window washers and Steeplejacks Protective Association. Yeah, this is all you get from me, you rats. Bah, that's right. Fucking working man. Show you. Of course, he goes right. The Steeplejack goes back to work, and these dudes are gonna pop him. Of course, the hero. Now, you always think, well, Batman, right? They're all ripping off Batman. Yeah, there were guys before. There were costumed crime fighters of rich playboys, idle playboys. Rod Riley, right? His dad, Emerald Riley. And you had a bunch of these dudes. Batman, I guess, survived for whatever reason. I'm not gonna say it was better stories or better villains. I don't know, because they seem to be. There's a lot of interesting stuff for her. So. And they get of course the cauliflower ear. The lower class guy is his ex boxer is his butler. Like that, living in a penthouse. Of course, he sees these hoods. Like this. And what I like about these things too is that right, Firebrand, like he doesn't care about the guys getting hurt or killed, right? You're a dying man. You might as well confess why you're gonna kill that steeplejack. I won't talk. Oh, you still stubborn, huh? I'd rather die than talk. Yeah, well, my pug nose cauliflower ear buddy's got a little thing. Hey, let me give him the right to flatten Tiger Malloy. Okay, maybe he'll talk then. So, all right. So this guy's like, why you? That's right. So basically, this dude, and then I'll show it. This dude basically worked his hood over. Right. Oh, hey, live by the fist, die by the fist, huh? All right. It's no use, slugger. He won't. He won't talk. And what's great too is I like this character. I never heard of this dude. I guess he never went on to even like later, like when Roy Thomas had like the All Star Squadron. I don't think I remember this character. And the cop, he's a criminal. Like the cops are not for these costume vigilantes. So they hose the pigs down, and they're like, oh, there's a cop down there. Oh well, bejabbers, what struck me? Okay, because I've seen Irish cop. Anyway, just the art's good. The women look pretty, look hot and annoyed. Of course, he's still wearing the top hat, right? What's that? Putting on the Ritz, all that. But yeah, you get to see. So yeah, come on, slugger, let's get a bop. Yeah, it's pretty violent. Like a lot of these guys kill the criminals. I think that's interesting. So now this right here, this was cool, my 711. I like the like I guess the what do you call this? The composition of the character here. This was fascinating, sort of like a Monte Cristo situation mixed in with Tale of Two Cities, where this nice guy takes the rap for this worthless dude, right? We look alike. If I'm a loser, this is the first decent thing I can do. Please, just told him like his wife's giving birth, so he's like, take the rap for me. What? Yeah, that's what I'd say. Swell. Remember Swell? They come, right? So Jacob Horner sentenced you to life imprisonment. So this nice guy took the rap for this clown, right? And you will no longer be known by your name. From now on, you will be Lifer number 711. I like that. That's the guy. So essentially, of course, the guy gets himself killed, stupid ass. And so now I'm in prison for life, and that's it. So bit by bit, he's digging a tunnel. So you can see the Monte Cristo influence. But I thought it was fascinating that you have a character who essentially he finds a way to get out of his prison cell, and he goes out and he fights crime on the outside as this 711. Interesting. And then when he's done, right, he's done with it. I'll send the police here to release you. So I'll see you in jail. And yeah, there he goes back to jail. I thought that was a fascinating idea of having a character who, in the civilian guys, right, because it's all alter egos. He's a prisoner, and then but he goes out at night and fights crime, and then goes back to prison. Thought that was interesting. So then you get stuff like this Eagle Evans, right? So these guys aren't even Snap Smith. They're not even costume guys. They're sort of like the adventurers and the fight. Oh, racism. Yeah, because you can't have an enemy that's like another race of people, right? It's like, see. Then we got here Chick Carter. Who's this? Now, apparently, from what I've read, this was a character that was, what is he? He's some kind of, I think he's a lawyer or he's a reporter, and they gave him this alter ego to keep up with like the superhero craze, but they didn't really do it too much. Like I said, the craziness of this stuff is the golden age is very crazy. It's just, it's a real, it should be more of an influence on stuff today. Of course, Plastic Man, we know Plastic Man, right? Of course, the whole key of Plastic Man was that, of course, he was a funny hero, like he had an interesting power, right? He would stretch. But his origin, he's not a good guy. He's basically a crook. That, in a heist, he gets left behind by your putrid punks, right? and he falls into some kind of acid, and essentially he gets taken care of by these monks. And then he learns, while addition to gaining powers from that plastic, he basically wants to reform himself, and so he fights crime. I thought that was an interesting origin, and of course the idea of his powers are interesting. So visually, he does all kinds of wacky, crazy things. I never knew fighting for the law could be so much fun. So Steel Kerrigan, right? Yeah, so you get like this kind of stuff. Oh, these white males. Another guy who's in the joint, and he's trying to go straight, but it's just like, out of my way, heel. I love the old friggin', turn. You swell, you heel. Hey sister. All the friggin' the old lingo. So now, this one was interesting too. The mouthpiece. Now, what's a mouthpiece, right? Remember, like, hey, copper, I ain't talking till I get my mouthpiece, right? From the old movies. Also from people in New York would always say that mouthpiece is a lawyer, right? So this is a lawyer who has he wears a domino mask, kind of looks like the Spirit, right? And he's a lawyer, and then he fights crime with the mask. And this story is a little gruesome. There's refugee. Apparently there's a war going on in Europe, I think, at this time. And of course, like this ship, it looks like it's from like the 1800s. We got these refugees chained up, right? So they're scared refugees, in an illegal attempt to enter the U.S. are at the mercy of brutal killers who take advantage of their ignorance. You beast, we paid you to get us into America. Like, shut up. I'm taking you there, ain't I? But I'm taking no chances. And then this was kind of gruesome. They just kind of throw them overboard. Men and women chained up, helpless, and they drown. So this is pretty brutal. And then you get more here where this is just interesting. They're smuggling European refugees, right? In the sharks. A smuggled alien. Look, the mouthpiece cuts them open. And she's saying something in French. Like, get him, kill him out. But I like the mouthpiece because he has a gun. Like, he doesn't just punch you. He like shoots your ass. I like that. And then I like how he throws a javelin and kills this motherfucker. I like that. That was a cruel death for Peg Leg, but he murdered many helpless people. The death of their leader, the rest of the field's smuggling ring surrender. Line up. But what about us refugees? If we're deported back to Europe, we'll be killed. Well, then stop being communists. How about that? Oh, sorry. Don't worry. Uncle Sam will give you every consideration, and you'll find the immigration authorities much more pleasant to deal with than Peg Leg Friel. It's almost like the immigration needs to be changed in the future because of something like this. In the future, never happened. So, now, Phantom Lady. This author, I read something interesting about him. I think this was the guy who tried to start a comics union. Funny though, he didn't. They crushed that pretty much. And you got this girl, Phantom Lady. She has the power to she has like a dark flashlight, so people can't see in the dark. I guess that's her power. And I remember some of these characters too. They were in the Earth 2. In the All-Star Squadron. So, and of course, these guys die. I like that. All right, this is funny, real quick. The human Dewey Drip, right? This is supposed to be like what's his name, Little Abner, right? And I like how this guy's dressed up as a blue coat. And he's like, this is actually really funny. So he obviously the kid, the young guy, he's like, Shakespeare. Dewey can read writing. Our son can read writing. And he like she's got the babies, watching the babies that are already smoking. Dad, your mom, reading writing takes time. Dewey ain't got no time to waste reading writing. He's feuding. He's having the Hetfields and the McCoys. I like this. Them Hetfields must have lost their jug. They're shooting straighter. Obviously, they ran out of alcohol. And like this, he goes, can't y'all read, son? You could read. Mom said you could read writing. Sure, but I can't read printing. Maybe my girl Lulu can read print. Now you make it's funny, right? A lot of them are like a third of America was like this in the 40s. That was one of the problems when they started conscripting everyone. They started finding a lot of people like this. Lulu, if you read this year letter for me and mine, might kiss you next time y'all ask me. Oh, this letter's from the government. You're a selectee. Nah, I ain't, Lulu. You know as well as I do that I'm a drip. Cause, Dewey, but a selectee is a soldier. And if the government has to go to war, they need soldiers. War, that's like a feud, ain't it? Sure it is, but they pays you real spending money for being a soldier. They pay spending money for feuding. United States. Armor here, I could. No, of course they're not gonna pay much, but for him it's gonna be like fucking winning the lotto. Oh man, that was hilarious, bro. That was hilarious. And we'll round it out with the human bomb. Now I remember this character too. This is the Earth 2 characters fighting World War II. Against the Nazis. Of course, the Nazis are involved in this. But the human bomb is always kind of cool. I like the idea that he touches you and he could blow you. Whatever he touches will explode. And he can't be affected by it, obviously. And so he wears a special suit, to control it. And he can still fight without it. But then when he takes the gloves off, and like I said, he kills people. But I like that. I mean, I don't like. Saying in the comic. I mean, not for real, but anyway, of course, the German, right? Oh, here's your dose. Oh, the Access Council. The Access, you're gonna get yours. So I had a lot of fun with this. This was great. The wackiness of the Golden Age. I can't get enough of it. I need to integrate this more into the stuff I'm doing, and I have been drawing a lot in the last 6 months. So comics are coming some days. Maybe I think in the late spring.